Yeah, feel free to put stuff down.
Yeah,
pockets and stuff.
Get something a little bit.
But yeah, I try to take a break every couple months from like all the pre-workout and all the caffeine and stuff. So I just cut it cold turkey, make my body do a hard reset.
So would you go like a month straight with pre-workout or no?
I'll go like 4 or 5 months.
Oh, pre-workout?
Yeah, like pre-workout or energy drinks like every morning. Cause I go every morning almost.
So I just got into the pre-workout thing recently, because I just felt like it wasn't like enough. I have
like
enough energy.
Well, you go at night, right?
So no, I go. Let's see, I go 3 times a week, and I usually try to go after work. And then the weekends, if I got time for the weekends, I usually try to go in the morning. So I rather in the morning. It's a little bit more empty. You go in the evening, especially summertime now. You got way more people. And Planet Fitness on the weekdays, bonkers, bro. It's like you being in the mall. It's like everybody everybody wants to be there at the same time, and you waiting for equipment like 10-15 minutes to get it. And you get the girls that's trying to look pretty for the camera, and then you got the dudes that's like, nah, bro, I'm trying to get my reps in. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I just be like, okay, I'll just wait. And usually, like, I used to go with my buddy, but his work schedule is conflicting. So now I just go dolo. And I try to bring my son. It's like, yeah, bring a teenager at times. Like, hey, he's like, yeah, I want to go. But does he go 3 times a week? Is he consistent? It's like you try. It's like you getting off the treadmill and trying to get back into it. But no, I'm trying to just stay on like a regimen, bro. Because I'm never like, it's like on and off. It's hard to stay consistent. It is hard. Bro, because I feel like if you get off for like 1 week and then trying to go back to the next, is tough. Because it's the end of the school year. So I took like the last week of May. I took a week off because.
Bring this a little bit closer, G.
I got you. Yeah. So I took like a week off, I want to say. Graduations and all of this stuff going on. My son's moving up ceremony. My daughter's going to middle school. So that kind of like conflicted with the schedule. Plus it was school. And now my daughter's going to middle school. And with her going to middle school now, she's doing cheer, but in middle school. So now she's going to be doing middle school timings. So it kind of messed up my schedule. Yeah. It messed up my schedule because it was earlier now. Because she used to go from 7:45 to 9. So I was like, okay, she goes to cheer. I can get a workout from 8 to 9 and then go pick her up and head home. So that's what my regimen used to be. And it used to be like Tuesdays and Thursdays. No, I'm sorry, Mondays and Wednesdays. I used to work out. Now she's like doing middle school cheering, and their schedule is way different because now they get out of school at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then right after that, straight to practice. So then so she started getting like a little bit of taste of it, even in elementary school, because she had to make the team and she had to practice with them, know the routine, see what the basis is, on how they operate, new coaches, and she's dealing with girls that's a little bit older than I, so she had to like adjust. So her coming from middle school, well, she's been doing this since she was younger. Some girls are new to it, some girls have been doing it, but she like fits right in. She's tall, so it's like you think she's in middle school. Nah, I bet you, son. So it was pretty dope. It was a pretty dope transition. I think she's gonna really fit in quite well, just because of the skill set that she has and how long she's been doing it.
Yeah, because she's been doing the travel thing for a minute, right?
She's been doing travel cheer since she was 5. So it's like,
bro, stuff like that helps.
She's a veteran in the game now. She's a veteran. So it's kind of dope to just vicariously see a kid just growing in something that you never really did, because
I was about to ask you, I'm like, you pictured yourself being a cheer dad?
It's crazy. Never pictured myself being a cheer dad, but after seeing like the whole basis of it, it was like, bro, this is dope, you know. But I ain't trying to be no cheerleader. That's cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we are going to these shows and they literally perform 5 minutes, but the preparation behind it is wild. I mean, get in there, they get into practice, and then whatever they did in practice, they got to show it on that floor for 5 minutes. And if they're younger, it's a little bit less, but somewhere around 5 minutes. And after the 5-minute performance, it's like, okay, what are we gonna do now? And then you just wait for awards. So I mean, it's a lot just for that 5 minutes, but pretty dope just seeing them out there just flexing their stuff, man. You be shocked. And I wasn't the one to really sit there and like watch practice. Like my wife would be like, "Oh yeah, you know, what is she doing?" Like, I wasn't watching. So I mean, I really just didn't want to see it in the practice stage because I think it's better when you actually see it out there where it really matters in front of a crowd. Because when they practice, they kind of like goof off a little bit. So when you actually there at the competition and they're actually in their element and performing for everybody that came, it's a little bit different. You know, because they bring us sometimes, they have like showcases and stuff. Like, oh, bring all the parents, and they have the showcases. And I'm like, yeah, you know, cheer them on. And like, you know, woo! You know, they're coming out, they're running, shaking their hands in the air and all that.
You gotta go crazy. You
gotta go crazy, you know, but still like, yeah, they still like, yeah, you know, my mom and dad out there, be alright. It's like, nah, you know, it's not the same. But when they out there on that floor, it's wild, bro. My daughter's a flyer too, so.
Oh, so she gets. Yeah, she goes up.
Yeah, man, you know, she's nimble, she's skinny, tall, so yeah, man. They throw her like a toothpick.
No fear of heights.
No fear, man. And that's just, you know, I think she gets a little bit of that fearlessness from me. Because I mean, I used to do all kind of nonsense with these kids. I mean, we were kids.
Yeah.
These kids now, you know, they ain't really much, but.
That's why I laugh when my kid does stuff like that, and with no prompting. Like, what was it? My birthday last year. We were just hanging out in Orlando, my family, and then we're like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" This is like the last day we're there. Like, "What do you want to do?" He's like, "I want to go on a zip line." I'm like, "Zip line? What? You never been on a zip line in your life?" It's like, "You want to go on a zip line?" He's like, "Yeah, zip line." So we find one of those like trampoline places, but it has a little bit more. There's like an arcade, and they have like the stuff you could climb. They hook the kids up to a harness and all that stuff. Well, sure as shit, they had a zip line going from one end to the other. And my kids was like, near Sanford is where we were.
Okay, so that's like this, like Orlando.
Yeah, it's like north.
Yeah. That's not kissing me, like Disney World.
Yeah, not Disney.
Like the boring part of Orlando. Like, yeah, everybody talks about Kiss Me, but that other part of it.
Yeah. But yeah, and they were like, you know, I was asking him like, hey, can he just go by himself? And he was only 6, so I was like, can you just go? Can you ride with me? He's like, you guys can ride right behind each other, but like it's a single harness. I was like, you go with that? And he's like, yeah. Climbed up, went off. I got a funny video because he's so small. They had to like literally toss him off. Yeah, like buddy just yeet him off the platform, and he just went flying to the other side. And then yeah, I got a funny photo somebody took. It's on my phone. It was coming back, and he had a little bit more hair, and it's just like pushed up like if he was going a million miles an hour, but like the biggest smile. Bro, he did not care about that. He did not care about any heights, speed, nothing. He was like, "No, we're gonna zip line today." I was like, "All right, cool."
That's dope. I mean,
we do our best not to raise these iPad kids.
Yeah.
They have a place. I'm not gonna say my kid doesn't have an iPad, you know, or a tablet, but
it's tough, bro.
It's tough. It's tough these days.
It's tough. Damn, these kids don't really understand like how good they have it. Like, just simple factors have internet.
They got options.
And then internet access all the time. I mean, I think if we would have had that, it would have been a different generation too. Just because of the simple fact that anything they think about wanting to watch, they can watch it at their fingertips or access. I mean, we had TV shows that came on at certain times and like summertime. I'll never forget vivid memories. Cartoon Network.
Mm-hmm.
When they had summer shows that came on. It was like, yo, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, you knew it. Sun go down.
Yeah.
You know them street lights came on, and we talking about Brooklyn in the 90s, late 90s. It's like, yo, when the street lights come on, Jamaican parents, you know, don't make them lights catch you outside.
Be inside already.
Be inside. But all of the major networks for cartoons made sure that when the lights came on, we had shows to watch to keep us occupied till like 10 o'clock. Then, you know, you had Toonami. I was like, yeah, you know, if parents was cool with it and they let you stay up summertime, you was watching some Toonami. And then you had Dragon Ball Z and all that other good stuff that came on. What was it? Samurai Jack?
Samurai Jack, yeah, Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo, stuff like that.
Dexter's Laboratory, all that stuff.
Dexter's Laboratory.
And it was like one after another. So like every night you were like, all right, 30 minutes of this, 30 minutes of this, 30 minutes of this.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yep.
I mean, it was back to back. So it's different. You know, now they could just catch an episode of anything at any point in time. And it's like, nah, we had to wait. So it's like that delayed gratification. We know what it is because we grew up in an era where nothing was instant for us. We had to actually wait. Where it's like now, it's like, I want to watch this. All right, I'm going to pop up SpongeBob, or I go pop up on YouTube and go watch a video. It's like, man, you know, kind of like, I wish I had that, but it's like, we actually had adventures where we could be like, yeah, I remember that memory. It's like, they got the iPads and they just, you know, they was zone out.
You got limited. I think the good parents limit it. Like they understand like it's good for them to have at some point.
Correct.
And it's just like, but you can't just sit them on it all day.
Nah.
Like there's no shot.
Nah, there's no shot at it. But you know, we in an era right now where it's like, and I mean, I'm not siding with anybody, whatever the case is. But I mean, I could understand it because everybody's busy.
Yeah.
We out here trying to get to the chicken and make sure the family is taken care of, and it's like sometimes you like, you know, you may lose track of time because you're dealing with what you're dealing with on the iPad, and I mean, I get it sometimes, but at the same time, it's like we gotta squeeze in a little bit of time where they could just get that outdoor, burn off that energy because these kids is way more hyperactive than we was.
Oh yeah.
And it's because they don't have as much outside time, and the outside time, it's like, it's kind of weary now because you gotta be careful when the kids is outside. It's not like, it's crazy. Like things that has to happen now, it happened before, but I guess it's because we didn't have access to as much stuff as we do now, is where we see this stuff plastered on social media, we see it on everywhere. I don't think we really understood what was going on in Kansas when we was in New York City like we do today. So we don't really know how things was, but I mean as kids, bro, we used to go all over the place.
Yeah, we just heavy back.
We was, you know, we ain't eating no cell phones, but we knew we was gonna come back to the house, you know, whatever it was, because most of the time we ain't never rolled by ourselves, we rolled a couple people. And so it's kind of different, but now it's like, man, there's so much predators out there. You got so much people with that's just walking outside and mentally all upstairs, and they ain't marbles, and it's just like
the amount of like, this is just a broad term, but like of just crazy people, whether they're on drugs, something wrong with them, whatever, on the street corners compared to like, and listen, I went to school around here, so when I was growing up versus now, it's crazy. It's every corner.
totally different.
And it's just like, I remember seeing this up north, and I thought it was just like when I remember growing up, I thought it was like a bigger city problem. You know what I mean? Like you just, they're everywhere because there's just so many people.
Correct.
But we got more people down here now, of course, but it's still, we're not I wouldn't consider this an urban city, but we got a ton of people just like all over the place, and now we got a ton of people on the corners just we don't live in bad spots, but then you go outside and sometimes it feels like a bad spot.
It does.
And it's weird. It's weird as a visual.
It is. And I think it's because we came from different places, we kind of like like more understanding of it. Because some people that grew up in areas like that, they kind of like, yeah, they get used to it. And then like moving from New York City here in '03 was like, what people see Florida as today is way different than it was when we, migrated here to Florida. Everything was far. There was not as much infrastructure as there is now. Roadways was way more open, and you could get from point A to point B way faster than it is now. And coming from like that hustle and bustle of New York City moving here, it took a lot of adjusting because I was just used to walking out the house, going to the corner store, getting candy, or getting a popsicle, and then you didn't really have to worry about you on that walk to get to where you was. Even in New York City, as busy and crazy as it was, you can still get from point A to point B without an issue because everybody was really like looking out for the community. Not as much now because everybody's more to themselves and like they don't really. I'm not gonna say they don't care, but they don't want to get too involved with it because they don't know what's the back end of it or the backlash you might get for doing something right. Like people getting sued for helping someone when they in trouble. And, they was like, I ain't want to get help. And it's like, what you mean, bro? You was getting your TV.
You bleeding. When you want help?
Yeah, it's funny. Sorry to get off subject.
No,
I got a really interesting thing that happened to me. This was last year. Don't remember exactly when it was, but vivid as day. Driving home from work, and I'm very vigilant when I'm on the road. I'm looking,
you gotta be.
I'm in a work truck, so I'm in a company vehicle on top of that. So you gotta be very vigilant at what you're doing. And bro, something out the corner of my eye. I'm like, what the hell is that in the street? It was a person.
No.
And we talking about, this is a busy road. It's Lantana, bro.
Just in the middle of Lantana Road.
Lantana on the far right corner, just in the street, in the lane. I'm talking about like if somebody was to like veer off a little bit, they out of there. They go into the shadow realm. So it was like I seen this person in the road, man, and this is like right by my house. So I just seen people driving by. And I see something like that, I just spring into action. It's just like, it ain't no questions. I ain't pulling out my phone and recording. I'm just gonna see what's this person, what's the deal, what's going on. And I seen this dude standing and he's trying to pull a lady up out of the street. So I just pull into the turning lane right before I get into my neighborhood, through the houses. Immediately, I seen traffic settle down a little bit, ran, shot straight across. And I was like, yo, what's going on? I was like, yo, she just passed out. She's passed out. So I said, all right, cool. Hispanic guy. And it was his mom.
Oh, okay.
So I said, all right, cool. Helped him lift her up, brought her on the sidewalk, called 911. So I'm on the phone 911. Some other people started stopping to try to like block the road so people could go around. So there was a car in the front and then there was a car in the back blocking that lane so we could get her up off the street. Somebody else gave me a hand. He was helping me, but he really wasn't because I don't know. My man looked like he needed to be in the gym. He couldn't handle that situation, so he was like, he was grateful that I was there. So we get her up off the street, get onto the sidewalk. I'm on the phone now. They said, what's going on? I said, this lady just happened to be passed out on the side of the road. I stopped my truck, lifted her up, put her on the sidewalk. The other people that stopped with me, it was two middle-aged black lady and an elder one came out the car. They helped the lady, saying, are you diabetic? Trying to figure out like why she passed out. She was like in and out. She was like, like slumped. So we trying to figure out like what's going on. I don't know if they were drinking and it was just really hot, and then they, I didn't know what the situation is. So
trying to assess.
Just trying to assess the situation and just help. And they asked me if she's alert. I'm like, yeah, she's kind of in and out. Like, she's like slurring or talking, but I mean, she's coherent. She can see, feel, hear, all of that good stuff. And then I don't know what transpired really because I was on the phone. But the two black ladies, they come to me. They was like, she said she don't want no help, and I'm like, what you mean? She said she didn't want no help. It was like they would, you know, kind of refer to it as like she doesn't want any help from us. From us. No, from us.
Yeah, y'all three.
And she like rubbed her hand, and I was like, oh, is that right? So I said, you know, I'm literally just getting off the phone with 911, and I looked at the ladies. I was like, hey, my job here is done. Walk right across the street. Wow. And it's just crazy to me that we live in a society where you're in dire need of something, and instead of you just like taking that help, you still discriminate or bias to that other person that's really just did that stuff out of kindness of their heart. A lot of people just gonna drive off.
Yeah.
And it was that day that I was just like, you know, some people you just gotta just. I get it. I get why some people just like, yo, I ain't helping. You know, everybody's on camera like, oh, why this person's not helping? They don't want to get sued. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just a crazy world we live in. You know, even nurses. Like I know that from my mom being in the field. I've heard stories of it. Like, yeah, you know, as a nurse, we have to like spring into action and do things. But it's like at the same time, you could end up getting sued. That person may have wanted to die.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, there was that lifeguard. I don't know if you heard about that. It was a while back, but he saved the kid. Like the kid did not drown. The kid was drowning. He noticed him at the bottom of the pool. Lifeguard grabbed him. At the CPR, all that. Kid's fine. The parents sued him.
What?
They're like, yeah, you took too long. They investigated him, like investigated the situation. They're like, yeah, he wasn't on his phone. He wasn't distracted. He just didn't notice him any sooner than he did. And they're like, yeah, we're still probably going to charge you.
Whoa.
It was nuts. I think at this point, because this was a while ago, I think at this point they've kind of cleared everything up because they're like, this is crazy. Like, he saved your child. What are we doing here?
I mean, is it public pool?
I want to say it was like a water park.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Bro, like, dude, there's like hundreds of kids, bro. That's
yeah.
Like, bro, it's like a hive of bees, bro. And you're trying to find the queen. It's like, check this out real quick. No worries.
I'm always paranoid because I had an incident once.
You did a whole bunch of stuff in
Bro, it was so bad. It was so bad. I was so upset. And it was, this is why I no longer get fired. And I told the dude to time it, like, hey, set your watch. And I have the beginning of the footage where he's like, I'm like, yo, set it now. And he waited till like we started. He didn't realize the camera was rolling. So, which is kind of my fault because I do the hot starts. Like, I don't tell anybody it's on.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so I go, we end it, and I go and the screen's black.
Oh.
And it was, I think it was only something like 8 minutes, but it was like, I knew in my brain already. Like, as we were talking, I was just like, I just kept thinking, I'm like, oh, that's going to be funny shit. Like, that's going to be a good clip. And then, it happens. I was mad for a little bit, but I had to let it go.
And you can't get those authentic moments back. It's like, nah, it's like, it was erased from, like, you know, it was like MIB when they put the pen in front of your face. It's like, it's gone, bro. Like, you can't get that back.
It's not even if you try to bring it back up, it's not the same.
It's not that authentic feel, bro. It's like, it's just lost in time, bro.
Well, your story reminded me. So this was years and years ago, but I think it might have been this Wawa that's up the street from here now. So we're in separate cars because I just got off work, and you know, we got gas, and I'm like, got the window down and telling Sam, like, hey, we're just gonna go to the house. All right, I'm gonna see you there. And then I'm like, I look over and I'm like, man, that doesn't look right. It's just like a small crowd. And I'm like, it just doesn't look right. Like 3-4 people. It just doesn't look right. I was like, yo, I'm gonna check this out. There's a girl laid out, eyes wide open, and she's got this. What I did was like mitigate because everyone else was doing like TV shit. And I was like, none of that you need to be doing right now. So like, yeah, they like shut. So this girl was passed out. It was a dude there that was with her, and some other random guy that was like trying to help. So, so I go over there and I'm like, Joe, what's going on? And they're like, I don't know. She's not responding. Eyes wide open, whatever. So I checked pulse. She's breathing. But they had shoved like her purse to like cushion her head.
Yeah.
Like here. So her chin was like touching her thing. I'm like, cool. So let's move that. So at least her airway is open. Cool. Like so she's not struggling to breathe because we don't know. Mind you, eyes wide open, just not responding to nothing. So I'm trying to talk to Buddy that knows her. I'm like, hey man, is she allergic to anything? Should take anything? Like, they're on the like. I think the other dude's on the phone with the ambulance because it didn't take long before they showed up. But I'm like, hey, she take anything? She's allergic to anything? Like, she got a medical issue? Like, so he's like, no, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, okay. So like, I'm like trying to wake her up, like get her attention. Like, she's eyes wide open. And I'm just like, asking him again. I'm like, hey man, you sure she didn't take anything? Oh, she took a bunch of like Zanies or something. Some drug. And I was like, I knew it was just like a party drug right away or something like that. But I'm like, that would be something that would be an answer to the first question I asked you, bro. And he's like, oh yeah, she took a bunch of. I'm like, okay, so she's ODing right now, is what you telling me. Cool. Not any second that I was done saying that, I look over and other buddy just starts doing chest compressions. They just start. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I thought I was supposed to do that. And I'm like, bro, she's breathing and she has a heartbeat. Stop doing chest compressions, please. And ambulance rolled up, like right after that. And that didn't wake her up, by the way. So she was out. Ambulance rolls up. I just get up and I'm just like, hey guys, I don't know them. This is her friend. He said she took a bunch of pills, unresponsive, but she's breathing, heartbeat. He's like, you need anything else from me? I bet. I'm out. Like, I can only help so much.
Out like a light. I don't want nothing tracing back to me. No. I am good. I'm gone. Same situation, bro. I was out of there, man. I was like, I did my part. At least a black man helped you. I'm gone. But man, it's just crazy, you know. Everybody's out to make $1, man, and it's like people put themselves in harm's way, insurance claims and all of this other stuff. I mean, I think we live in the insurance claim capital of the country, man. You understand what I'm saying? So people just do some real stupid shit, with the intentions to get money, which could really sacrifice, really hurt yourself. And what happens then, you know, if they know you are a con artist? It's crazy because I knew a dude that, man, he just do the. I ain't know him personally, but it was a guy that I heard they used to do a lot of insurance claims. And it's like, bro, like, what happens at the time that you really mess yourself up, bro? Like, what are you doing? You gotta hold this front, like, you know, you used to see people with a neck brace and crunches. They on one of these movements, trying to get a check. And it's like, you gonna slip up one day. And, you know, they put them private eyes on you. They gonna catch you. Yep. And it's like, is it really worth it? Just go out there and go work.
Just work. Go do something.
Yeah,
Find something.
It's not that hard, bro. I really don't get it, you know. But back to the people on the streets, man. It's just a different time, man. You know, moving down here, I never really seen that. And my eyes opened up when the first time I went to Miami.
Oh yeah.
And you go to Skid Row, which is like, I don't know if you ever been to Club Space.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
Bro, went down to Club Space. This was in my early years, or you know, high school, college, around that time. It was a different time because you remember when you used to have clubs they used to go to? It was like 18, 17. They don't have that no more. You know,
no, there's no.
There's too much of a risk.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you know what? We messed that up.
Probably.
We really messed that up for you kids ain't gonna experience that.
Yeah, clubs used to be, I don't know if they're still, I can't imagine they're still like that, but it used to be 21 for guys, 18 for girls. Yeah, I remember that.
Scary times.
Yeah.
Scary
That
times.
was scary.
And that's what kind of that's why we at where we at now. Everybody wanted to be older than they really was, you know, girls and us the guys as well. But more or less, you know, you ain't know who you was dancing up on. I mean, we ain't asking for no ID to go dance.
You're assuming.
You're
which
assuming.
Is how people get in trouble.
It's I mean, in our day and age, it's like you gotta ask a lot of questions. I mean, you gotta have you remember that episode of like Dave Chappelle was like, you know, he wanted to get busy with the girls. Like,
yeah, sign his contract.
He's like, yeah, sign there. Did you do anal?
Yeah, initial here, he declined anal, and he's like, that's pretty much standard.
I'm telling you, man, it's like it's just crazy because it's like you literally have to be on guard 24/7, 365 because you don't want to end up, you know, in a situation.
They did a skit like that was funny in South Park too, where Buddy was like going through the frat house. And he was banging on all the doors. Everybody had taken their girls in the room, and he's like, "I need my consent forms." It's like the big frat bro was like, "Hey, you got your consent form?" She signed. All right, cool. And he's like, "Have fun in there, Topher." Like, and then he walked away back on the next door. It was so funny.
Bro, it's just like, bro, it was a different time. But yeah, back to the homeless people, man. Went to space one night, man. Me and all my peoples, and we went down. I mean, it was dark, bro. It was like. We parked a couple blocks away because it was busy. I jumped out the car, man, and I felt like I was in New York, like downtown Brooklyn. I walked out, man, he was in sleeping bags, and the whole block was just lined.
Yep.
Never seen a situation quite like that in New York because, I mean, it gets cold, bro. So, I mean, they ain't in shelter. You know, you might see them on the block trying to go get hot meals and stuff like that, but when I seen that, I was like, yo, this is wild, bro. They on the sidewalk, like, bro, this is like a bum city. I ain't trying to, you know, homeless city. Boom. I don't even want to be politically correct, but it was they was lined up on the block. And I'm like, yo, we good to park here? They was like, I think so. I'm like, man, you know, I don't know about the you know the homeless ones out here, but I know New York, certain places like, nah, I ain't parking my car there. Because it might they're gonna end up going in there looking for something, whether if it's change or whatever the case is. They looking for something. They ain't leaving without nothing. They leaving with something. They leaving with something. So it was just like, when I seen that, man, I was like, man, this is wild. I really, you know. But I think that's every major city in the United States of America, if I really, well, cities with, you know, big
hubs,
gaps. Big gaps and like big wealth gaps, I may say. Like major cities where it's like, it's kind of wealthy, but seeing that in Miami back then, it was like, wow, that's
yeah, I remember when we went, I can't remember if it was Space. We were in that area. It was either Space or there was this other place we used to go. It was called Big Fish. And I remember I had to make a U-turn, and I was making a U-turn under an overpass.
Yes,
and
a lot of those.
I busted the U-turn, and my headlights doing the U-turn hit underneath the overpass, like past the sidewalk, and it was like 50 people just passed out.
Yep.
Just homeless people. I'm like, that's
a lot of people. It's like that in Atlanta too. Surprisingly, I went to Atlanta. Only reason I went to Atlanta was my daughter had competitions there. But I went to Atlanta. I seen it more this time than I did last time, but went to Atlanta, man, and we went in February, so it's kind of break. Definitely kind of break. So, man, they was out there in some tents. They had the whole setup, bro. I'm talking about they had like a house under the overpass.
That's great.
And I mean, they had like a tent couch. Like, one man was laid out.
Chilling.
I mean, bro, it's a lot of bro. It's quite crisp outside.
Yeah.
It ain't toasty, son. It's brick.
No, I've been in Atlanta cold before.
You know,
it's chilly.
It's not bubble goose type of cold, but I mean, you don't have to throw on a sweater or two, my man. Maybe cover your ears. You want your fingertips getting cold type of deal. They was out there chilling, man. It's just like, they ain't got no worries. I mean, they got worries, you know, worrying about finding food and all that good stuff, but bro,
it sounds like they accepted it.
I mean, some of them do. I don't know. You see a guy riding around here, predominant guy, who always rides a bike. He's always reading.
Yes.
I remember first. Sometimes I like to just stop and interact with them. 'Cause I think sometimes they just want somebody to talk to, and sometimes I just felt like compelled, like, I don't know. I don't want to just give you my money. I want to, like, don't get me wrong. I'm like, what's up? Like, how did you end up in this situation, really? And he was just like, you know, I got into drugs, whatever the case is, and you know, lost everything. So I just ended up here in the streets. But I'm like, of all people that I've seen, like homeless, whatever the case is, he's the only one that I actually seen with motion. Like, I've seen him at his lowest, and like next time I see him, he's reading a book. He has a bicycle. Then I see him floating around town, and he's just like, man, I'm just trying to get a little bit of cash so I can get in the shelter. I just want to get me a shower and some food. And you know, we was chopping it up one day. He was like, yeah, man, you know, had a house like everybody else, and was doing drugs. I was getting ready to lose my house because of recession, turnaround. This is like '08, you know, the '08 situation. So it's a little bit after '08, you know, and you know, he was just like, I just didn't know how to cope, so I kind of coped with the drugs and all of this other good stuff. And he ended up on, you know, he ended up out there in the streets, and I used to always catch him at Publix on Luca, always. And then I haven't seen him in a couple of years, so I'm hoping that, you know, he actually got himself back on the straight and narrow, and he's doing good now. But you ain't really see much of them where they ain't look like they wasn't doing much with themselves. But that one, of all of them that I spoke to, he looked like he had a clear head, and he knew he actually had self-control. He actually like, nah, I gotta get myself out this situation.
He was aware it was his fault. Correct. And like he had to do something about it. Like, correct. It wasn't just gonna fix itself.
Correct. And all the time, like I usually carry like a cooler with me, and mostly everywhere I go, I usually carry more than enough of whatever I got. Anytime I see him, bro, I just be like, you know, here's a bottle of water. Sometimes I'll be eating, I'll be on the move so much. I had like a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A one day, and it was just chilling there. I'm like, bro, here. It's just like, I mean, if I got it to give, I'm gonna give it.
I used to give, if I went to Wendy's and I saw him on the corner, remember military, what was Lantana? Yeah, military Lantana. Probably like high school days. Tall, super skinny, white dude. They would always be on the corner.
Yep.
If I went to that Wendy's right there, drive through, I'd grab something for him, like give him like a sandwich. I don't give homeless people money, but if I got food, or if like whatever, I bought an extra sandwich or whatever. Yeah, you can have some food.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving you money.
Yep. I mean, I don't know what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
You know, and we work hard for what we got.
Yes.
And to just give it away to get squandered to like no purpose, it's like, nah, I really can't support that. I could support feeding you. I could support giving you some water. It's really hot outside, and usually I ride around like 6 to 8 bottles of water, just in case if I run across anybody that's thirsty, bro. Is I'm like, this is for me. I just got that like giving nature. I mean, I wear my heart on my shoulder a lot. My wife kind of, you know, gets to me about that, but I mean, that's just who I am. That's just ingrained in me, bro. If I see somebody that's less fortunate or needs something, bro, I'm just there to just give it. I mean, bro, if it was the option, bro, I'd give it a shirt off my back. And it's just how I am. I think that's how my grandfather raised me. God bless his soul. But it was just like, that's just how it moved.
It's a good character trait.
Yeah, bro, it is. I mean, you know, it is good. And you know what? I be talking to my brothers and a lot of people about it. It's like, you have to give with the intention of not receiving anything in return, because you're not doing out of the kindness of your heart.
You can't expect it back.
You can't expect anything back, but at the end of the day, you know what you did or what you contributed, and that's all that matters. It's between you, God, and whatever transaction that, you know, aspired to happen.
You gotta, whatever, good, bad, whatever decision you make as a person, you gotta sleep with that. So.
Yeah. And, you know, and you giving something to someone and they don't give it in return, I mean, it's not, you ain't doing it for the genuine part of what you actually doing it for. So for me, it's like, I'd rather help people, bro. There's a lot of people out here that don't got help and just be in situations. It's crazy. Like I said, I used to just see people and I just grab a conversation. Somebody just, you want somebody to talk to at times. And that's all it is. And it's like, we live in a world where everybody kind of like standoffish. It's like maybe everybody's pissed off and mad. They ain't got nobody to talk to. I mean, therapy's, everybody says, go get your therapist, whatever it is. I mean, she costs. I was doing, I did that for 6 months. It was very necessary.
I did too.
It grounds you at times, and you really like understand that it's humbling because everybody has flaws. Everybody got flaws that they're going through, whatever the case is. And some people are fortunate where they have access to those avenues to do those things, and some people just don't. So you could just like give someone an ear, lend someone an ear. At times, you don't even really understand the impact that it has on that person. Just someone to just listen to what you got going on. That's why a lot of pissed off people out here. There's a lot pissed off people, and I mean, I get it, bro. It's if we could go back in time to being a kid, I would go back in a heartbeat. This shit called adulting, it's not the best, bro. It's not the weak-hearted, bro. I mean, bro, it's bills and bullshit. The two B's that we deal with as adults, bills and bullshit, and the bills don't stop. And the bullshit don't stop neither. It's just gonna keep coming. You just gotta have to figure out how to maneuver through it, and that's the problem. Some people just can't maneuver through the bullshit. And then, you got home life. You got work. And
doesn't stop.
Quite honestly, work is bullshit. You gotta deal with a lot of bullshit at work. And then you deal with the bullshit politics at work on top of that. People trying to mess up your money. People trying to undermine you. They trying to do the most, brown nosing to get to the top, and they want to sell you out like the Gestapo. Like it's just wild, son. They out there for you.
The place I left in February, so bad. It's the worst. It's just that. It's just like, bro, you want to get ahead? Yeah, you want to get ahead? Put your nose up someone's ass.
Yeah, bro.
That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter what you know. And that, I don't like shouting that company out. I'll drag them. I don't like shouting their name out because they're trash. But like, you know where I used to work, so that kind of place, knowledge should be like commended. They're like, no. They're like, more stuff? Cool, we'll keep you right where you're at. So we always have somebody that knows stuff. Instead, no, you're not going to a position where you can teach other people more stuff. No, you're not going to move up to XYZ. No, you're not going to move to a different job title. So he's like, no, we need all that knowledge here because we're not going to teach anybody else nothing. So we need you here so everyone can just ask you shit. It's like, bro, how do you run a business like that?
It's shocking because there's a lot of businesses that run like that. A lot of businesses that run like that. They literally pay you whatever the hell they pay you. Give you 5 job titles. It's like, come on, son. Like, come on, bro. Like, you paying me for this. You ain't paying me for the other stuff.
Right.
And it's like, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. So, me being in the HVAC field, right? It was like, when I first started in this field, and I give it to anybody now, like, y'all got it made. Bro, they was paying me $8.40. It's crazy how I still remember that number. Getting paid $8.40. Let me tell you something. They was, boy, they working your ass for that $8.40, bro. You hear me? They were working you for that $8.40. And I was just so eager to learn and just progress in this field that, and not only that, I have responsibilities. So I'm like, it's only one way. It's only one way, bro. And you gotta start at the bottom. And bro, I thugged that $8.40 out for like 6 months, bro. And I was just like, nah, bro, y'all gonna have to do something, bro, because this ain't cutting it. You understand what I'm telling you? So it was like I really like just got my foot. When I first got into this field, I actually lost my job. I was working downtown West Palm at a building called the Prado. Never forget it. I was doing like porter, so I was like taking out trash at night.
Okay.
And like people that wanted to park their cars for their guests. I was like parking in the garage. I was like running back and forth. Dope job, bro. Like, I think that was the highest paid job I've gotten when I was like around that age. I think it was like $9.50, maybe $10. I was like, it was pretty dope. I mean, back then, I'm like, yo, bro, you know.
I'm gonna tell you real quick, not to cut you off, but I saw some paperwork from when I lost my job at H&M. It was probably like 12 years ago at this point.
H&M?
But what I was making, the one downtown. What I made there, people don't make today. And I made that 12 years ago. And I was like, fuck. I'll fuck that up. But yeah, it was about principles, so.
Nah, and it's funny, you said 10, 12 years ago? Downtown? I was working at the Prado.
I might have seen you a couple times downtown. I was on Rosemary Ave.
I walked in there one day and I did see you in there, bro.
I was on Rosemary Ave. They built that store there, and I got hired for when they opened up. So like I actually did my training in another store, and then we literally built it from like an empty shell out, and then opened it, and I was a supervisor there until.
Yeah, it had to have been around the same time because I was at the Prado in 2000 and I was there in 2012. I worked at that spot for like 6 months.
It was probably around that time.
Yeah, it had to have been around that time because I was 20 and I turned 21 while working there, and then a couple months after I got fired. So here's the backstory with that.
I got fired from H&M, so I'll tell you that.
No, I get it, bro. So, dope job, bro. Best job I think I've held when I was that age. You know, I worked at BMW, Finish Line, of course. I met you when he was working at Foot Locker after high school, whatever the case was. But was working there for 6 months, bro, and I just finished the paperwork to get into the HVAC field. And I found out that my job would sponsor me as an apprentice to go to school because I kind of was working in the realm of AC, but I really wasn't. But they were like, if I worked in the mornings, it was like I was doing a little bit of maintenance. So I was like, okay, that kind of like works out. So I was like, okay. And then I found out in the building next to mine, there was some guys that already applied for school too, but it's through the same building management group. So we were cool. So I'm like, all right, cool. If they going, I mean, I'll go too. And when I went to the school and spoke to them, they like, yeah, we got some guys from the building next door. They doing the same thing. So yeah, you good to go. But my company was like, yeah, you gotta buy your own books. I was like, as long as you guys are paying for the school, I mean,
I'll cover the books. I'm paying for tuition.
Shit, you know, it's $350 for the books. So I'm like, you know, F it, I'm good. I'll take it. Did that, and it was a little dude there, man. You know, he been there so long. He was like working the system in his favor, and he like knew the property manager or whatever the case on the dude on the board, president of the board. That's what it was. He owned like maybe 5 or 6 units in the building. He owned some units in the building next door. So my man had a little, you know, he had a little paper, whatever the case is. And my man was playing like the system, like, yeah, you know, I'm on light duty. I can't lift nothing. I can't do nothing. So, cool. All the other workers used to complain, like, man over here moving like he can't do nothing. But we know damn well he can't. He out here playing. So, you know, he got real nice. He was real good with the people in the building. So I'm doing my rounds one night collecting trash, and I went up the garage, and I think it was a 4th floor. There was nothing there, bro. I come back down, there's a bed there. But I happened to see a glimpse of him like in the building helping, like door closed, and I kind of like, oh man, what he still doing? You know, what he still doing here? Like it's late, bro. Like, you know, we ain't supposed to help like move or help anybody do anything. I mean, not no like full blown like, I mean, like hold the door, like maybe shimmy.
Yeah, but we're not moving a dresser.
Correct. Yeah. Because it's just a liability issue. So I'm like, I come back up. And I'm like, yo, that mattress was in there. And then he pops up and I'm like, what's up? He's like, oh, what's up? I'm like, yeah, like, why is that mattress there? Oh no, I don't know who put it there. Okay, cool. Next morning they was like, hey, somebody left a mattress here and we gotta figure out who the mattress was. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know we put the mattress there, but I seen an old boy up there on the same floor, and he was with, you know, this so-and-so resident, and they was like, oh yeah, she was a pain in the ass, she's moving out. So I was like, okay, makes sense, it's probably the mattress. And I was like, old boy was there, so why don't you ask him? Yo, bro, they went, did a little investigation. He was like, oh, why you over here lying on me? And I said, yo, listen, bro. I said, I mean, I ain't stupid nothing, but you put two and two together, y'all was, you know, I don't know.
You at least spoke to her.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I ain't moved that mattress, this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, oh boy, you was up there with her last night. He was just like, you lying, this, that, and the third. And I was like, yo, listen, there's a couple of things you gonna call me. You ain't gonna call me no goddamn lie, bro.
Yeah, that's big with me too.
I'm like, you ain't gonna call me no lie, bro. Yeah. I was like, you know, Poppy ain't no snitch.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you was in the vicinity, asked me where the mattress at, because they would have been like, yo, I'm just telling them what I seen. And
this is my boss asked me what I saw at work. That's different.
Yeah, so they put us in the room together, and my man started getting crazy. I'm like, bro, you don't call me on my name. When I was young, I was a hothead. I ain't taking much shit, bro. I was ready to smack the shit out of people, bro. I was angry, bro. You know, this is crazy. It's just looking back now, I'm like, bro, I was a real hothead at times. And bro, it's just like, I'm a cool dude, bro. I mean, pop a lot of shit. Like, if I really gotta be about action, I'm about action. But most of the time, I'm just venting. But this dude, like, you know, he got kind of like slick out the mouth, and I'm just like, yo, bro, I don't give a damn how old you is. I smack the fuck out you. You know, sorry you too, but I had to smack you, bro. You know, that's just what it is. But yeah, bro, and after that, man, it was like a chain reaction of bullshit. I got sick, and they was like, yo, they caught me sleeping, so they gave me a write up, right? And I'm like, oh, they fucking with me. They really like they doing a bunch of stuff, and I forgot. I think I got sick, and I kept nodding off, nodding off, and somebody like took a picture of me.
Oh, see.
And then prior to that, I guess they asked me to do something, but I got so busy when I couldn't get to it. So they was like, hey, we asked you to do this, and I'm like, yo, I was busy that night. I couldn't get to it. It was like, okay, cool. My man did whatever he did and spoke to the president of the board, and he spoke to the guy that hired me was a cool old Italian white dude. He retired, and they brought in a younger guy. You know, he was a little bit gung ho on certain things, and he wanted to make sure he made his name.
Mm-hmm.
So he you know, buddy me up, you know Diddy, but you know, friend me up, whatever the case is, and threw me under the table. Cool. Came in there, they called me in. Like, I got into school. School started I think school started in August, and I was gonna actually start school the night they fired me. The day they fired me, I was supposed to go to school that night, but there was a hurricane that came, and they kind of canceled school. So, bro, I go in the office, they're like, yo, we want to talk to you, and the building engineer was kind of like shaking his head, and he was like upset. So I'm like, what's going on? Why they calling me to the office? He was like, when you get in there, you're gonna see what's going on.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, we got a picture of you sleeping on shift. I was like, what you mean sleeping? They was like, yeah, you were sleeping. I was like, you mean the day I'm sick? Oh, we didn't know you. I was like, you guys know I'm sick. Come on, bro. He was like, yeah, somebody snapped a picture of you. So I was like, okay, so what's up? Yeah, we're gonna have to fire you. I'm like, fire me because I fell asleep. They was like, yeah, you fell asleep on duty. Not only that, we asked you to do something, and you never did it. I'm like, well, I told you I couldn't get to it. I was busy. There was a lot of cars coming in that night. Not only that, there was a lot of trash runs I had to do. Like, they were like, yeah, nah, I'll let you go. I'm like, bro, it's the night I'm starting school, bro. You really gonna let me go? And they was like, yeah, we're gonna let you go.
It's funny when a job, you can tell when they're trying to like get you out of there, because they'll go 100% by the book to like,
oh,
yeah, so this is a write-up. Yeah, this is a second write. Like, bro, I did 18 worse things, and you were like, hey, man, don't do that again. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, all right, cool. Like, this is the first time I did this, but it's like, nah, I gotta do it. It's by the book. I'm like, bro.
I ruffle some feathers too. I guess I must have, that dude's masculinity was on the line because, I showed up by a young guy that actually knew what the hell he wanted to do and was ambitious. But fast forward, me getting into the field, me working at Cassidy. So I got fired in 2012, and 4 years later, who happens to work in that building?
Same dude.
Me.
Oh, you? Oh, so now you work in that building.
I had to go replace a unit on the roof in that building. And I came back with some.
Like, oh, yo, make sure that gate's open. Make sure that door is open, bro.
I came back with some heat. Came back with some ammunition for their ass. I was like, oh, remember y'all firing me? He was like, oh yeah, that man was in that here anymore. I was like, good, fuck him. I was like, now I'm replacing the, I was like, is the president of the association still here? I was like, yeah. He was like, where he at? He was like, oh, he just floating around. His name was Bertram. Never forget it. Never forget his name, bro.
Old ass name.
Yeah, but bro, it was just like, it's just like, it's one of those moments where you like, wow. It's like, I got fired from this place, went to school, graduated, happened to graduate that same year because it was a 4-year, 2-night-a-week apprenticeship. So I was able to work and go to school at the same time. But it's like, it was just like full circle. It's like, I got fired from this place and now I'm working on the main units for this building. It's just like, you never know what's around that corner for you. You never know what God has, like, your further plans.
It's funny when stuff wraps around like that.
It does. It's crazy because, I look at, like, signs and stuff in the world and just like, reading the universe. It's just like, you do good and good comes back around.
Yeah, we did.
Sweet.
We go for probably a couple more.
Alright, cool.
So I don't think it ever came full circle, not from my recollection, but yeah, I got similar way at H&M when I got fired. Like, I was already on like a couple write-ups for unrelated things, and like,
it wasn't for the stuff that we really.
It was for the dumbest.
It wasn't for like shit that like.
So like my write-up, they had this stupid thing where like you couldn't go help. So when you set up a store called support, I love doing that. A, because they pay for a hotel.
Ooh, nice.
And you get a stipend. So for like food and stuff. If you're smart, because you book everything yourself. If you're smart, you get like a suite. No, you get like a suite with
share
like
with someone
with a kitchen. You just go food shopping. So like you can pocket a lot of money if you just eat breakfast at the hotel every day, and then don't ball out for lunch,
and then
you just eat dinner at the hotel. You're good. So anyway, so like I like doing that, and then like you're in a different city or whatever. So like I remember when I got back from Peru, I was there for like 2 weeks, and literally the first meeting, I was upset. I was upset for one thing, and it's the same guy that is part of the reason I got fired. So I got upset because he wasn't a supervisor. He was what they had visuals, where literally their only job is to make sure like mannequins are straight and like everything's displayed the way it's supposed to be. But they don't have like authority or anything like that. But because I was in charge of the men's department, and I didn't have there wasn't another supervisor, because in compared to the rest of the store, the men's department's kind of small. So it was literally just me in charge, and then somebody above me. So like, he was the only like lateral person. He was supposed to like make sure everything was straight. I was gone for almost 2 weeks. So, small backstory. One of the smaller departments, I was consistently outselling both women's departments. Because I had that shit running. I ran it like we ran Foot Locker stores, which they were not used to.
A1, yeah.
Right.
Five.
Which is like A1, pushing sales. That's not how they ran it. But I ran my department like that.
Pushing P's.
So I was like, all right. Like, and I was, the cool thing was like they gave you all the numbers and feedback. Like every week or every 2 weeks you had a meeting about it. So I knew what wasn't moving and what was moving. So I knew how to rearrange stuff XYZ, right? He was supposed to do that. He didn't do that shit.
Oh, of course.
So I was pissed off. And I walked out of the meeting upset, and I was just like cussing to myself. And I guess he heard it and felt some kind of way. No one blamed him, even though it was his fault, but no one blamed him directly. He complained about that. In that same meeting, they were announcing where they were going to open new stores.
Mm-hmm.
Peru, they were going to put one in Lima, which is I just came back from. And then they offered it. They're like, hey, if you speak Spanish, you can go. You can either do a 1, 2, or 3 month thing. So I was like, I'm going right back.
Yeah.
That conversation, or not even a conversation, because he just overheard me getting upset with myself. Like, I was just mad at the fact that this happened. I wasn't even talking to him. Like, he wasn't in front of me, nothing. He just happened to hear me. And I didn't find out until the meeting where they wrote me up because he felt some type of way about what I said.
Blocking the blessings, bro.
So, because I couldn't go, or because I got on a write-up, I could not go. You cannot do the support for 6 months. And leaving for Peru was like in a month and a half.
Oh.
I was like, I couldn't even apply because I was on, basically you're on punishment. So I'm on timeout, I can't do any cool shit. So I was very upset. And when they were giving me like a talk about the write-up, they were just like, listen, it's not a big deal. It drops off your record or whatever whenever, in 6 months it comes off your file. Like if you don't get in trouble, it doesn't add up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, but I was going to go support in Peru. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, you know what that means. I can't go nowhere. All right. So flash forward a little bit. I'm working. We stayed open later on the weekends because it was downtown. Right? But that meant drunkies, annoying people, all that stuff, right? Yeah. So I'm closing. I'm trying to like clean stuff up, right? That same dude that worked there, he made a habit of coming in on like late on Friday and Saturday nights to shop for himself. Right? He's been off the clock. He left in the afternoon. Comes back to shop. The last 30 minutes were open. Always.
Suspect.
He would yell stuff at us. Like, so I'm talking to the other manager on duty, like, hey, so we're going to knock this out, and then we'll go do paperwork and count money, whatever. And he'll just walk by, yell, and he's like, yo, shut up.
Wait, this is the dude that left?
This is the dude that left. This is the dude
that had the issue with you?
The dude that had the issue with me. But he would just say it. He would do it to everybody. And I'm like, yo, don't do that. And then oh, that's just Chris. Don't. And so I'm like, yeah, but you guys can be cool with that just being Chris. He doesn't know me. It's like, we work together, but that's it. He can't talk crazy to me, right?
You don't know me, son.
Like, that's not, you don't talk to people like that.
Nah.
So, he wants the ring out, right? And for employees, you gotta get like there's a ticket. Like if you donate stuff, you get a discount ticket. Employees are allowed to stack that. But we didn't keep the tickets at the register, we kept them in the office. So mind you, we've got probably maybe 20 minutes to close. And he's like, oh, I get a call on the radio from the front. They're like, hey, Chris wants a ticket for his donation. I'm like, all right, cool, I gotta get it from the office. I'm gonna tell him to be a minute. So it's a blind corner when you come around. So I eventually go get it, come around the corner, and I was like 20 people in line. 20 people in line getting rung up. And he's at the end of the string of registers. He wants to get rung up right now. And I'm like, whatever, dude, I'll do it. It is what it is. Like, I'll get yelled at by a customer. I'm like, listen, he works here. We're just getting him in and out. He's buying one thing. Like, I apologize. Usually, if that happened, I'd do that. And then I'd hop on the line and kind of help kill it. So, nobody got real pissed off. So I had to literally walk around the line to get to him, to the other side. And as I'm walking up with the ticket in my hand, he's, hurry up. Like stomp foot and everything.
What's his name?
His name was Chris.
Chris, if you watching this.
So I literally threw it in the air and I said, yo, fuck you. I told you to watch you fucking talking to. And I walked off. I was like, yeah, someone else is bringing you out. I don't know. So,
wrong, Chris.
Close that. I wrote a report about what happened too. Because I was like, bro, I know I'm getting in trouble. I worked in retail long enough and been a manager long enough. I know I'm getting in trouble. But, like, I'm documenting this whole situation.
Got to.
Right? So I close that night, I have a day off, and I come in the afternoon the following day. I come in, he's already sitting at like the break table. Because we come in the back door, the break room's right there. He's just there, bro. So I walk in, and I clock in, It was like give a head nod. He was sitting there with somebody else, so I gave a head nod. And so I clock in, get on the sales floor, and the general manager of the whole store comes up. He's like, "Hey, you clocked in?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I gotta see you in the office."
No.
I already knew. They gotta wait till you clock in. So I go in, and he's like, "Hey, we gotta talk about